Hey everybody, GameHounds podcast. Welcome. Sorry, we're always late. It's what we do. It's our thing. We're only 12 minutes late today. How are you? Uh-oh, I've got things playing in my head. I shouldn't have. Stand by. Okay. So we're here, getting ready for the show. We're doing the pre-show stuff. Nick is here. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
Let's see. I just have to do a couple of things. We kind of did a lot of the pre-show stuff already. I'm hoping that people start coming into trickling into the chat room. Let me see. Got one other thing I got to do. Stand by. Why is stuff starting to talk in my head? I'm sorry that this is happening. We got feedback in my head. You're not hearing it, but I am.
Yeah.
Game. Let's see. What I need to do? I need to go to this. All right, there we go. And I need to go here. Sorry. Apologies. And I need to go there. All right, good. Sorted. Sorry. Anything we need to talk about before the show, Nick? No days off?
So
No holidays? No nothing? How's the cat?
holidays, cats are good. No, I think we're good.
Okay. Are you roasting?
Roasting.
Yeah, if you weren't aware, there is like a high heat warning that they're asking us to turn off all of our stuff because of extreme dangerous heat. You and I wouldn't notice because we're on the bay, but a couple dozen miles that direction, they are burning to death.
Yeah, no, we had some other friends over and they shared this funny picture on the phone that's like heat wave, and it showed California, and it's like Sacramento 100 something, Modesto 100 something, LA, San Diego 90, San Francisco 70.
Yeah. We were 70. We were 72 yesterday.
Yeah, no, wait. Whenever I work, I keep seeing in the bottom right, Microsoft says heat warning.
A heat warning.
Heat
Exactly.
warning.
I get
And
the
I look
same
at the
thing.
window and I go like, dude, no, it's not. It's a beautiful sunny day. What are you talking about? But it wasn't until a friend showed that picture of the heat wave that I actually realized, oh, this is like a legit heat wave.
This is like a legit gonna kill people heat wave.
It was the first moment where I kind of felt like, oh, I'm like that Marie Antoinette lit them eat cake. It's like,
yes.
Oh wait, heat wave is an actual thing. This is something like, this is bad for some people, not me, but I'm sure some people are really, really struggling with it.
Yeah. They're predicting deaths because of it. It's bad. Also, you should know that as of 4:00 today, the governor begged people to turn off lights, don't use stuff. In fact, I want to be wrapped up with this show by 4:00 so that I can turn off my computer and everything else. He's begging for it, because it could be at 4:00 that our electrical grid goes down. It's a very, very real possibility at this point. So I want to not be, churning the electricity through my house like I do when I'm doing the podcast. Hey, we got 2 people in the chat room. 2 people talking. Hey, it's Wraith. Or 1 person talking. Hey, Twitch rearranged my emoticons. I don't like it. Thank you for reminding me. We are 100% patron funded. It pays for this. All of this stuff that you see, all that stuff down there, and this camera, and well, it doesn't pay for the microphone, but yeah, it pays for all this stuff.
Lighter.
Trying to make yourself lighter?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna get you. Dark. Yeah, I'm gonna get you a light. I'm gonna get you a ring light, dude. Gonna get you a ring light. And if I could ask if anybody's listening, switch over to Twitch. if you are on YouTube, I would really appreciate you going over to Twitch if you have a Twitch account, because we are like, we didn't quite make it. We need to have like, I need 0.6 of a listener as an average for the month to reach a milestone, which would be very nice. It's kind of not even barely a milestone, but we have not reached it because we are short of listeners. And that is because we do these long gaming shows and people come in and out a lot. So it's not like tons of people watching the whole time, and that kind of penalizes us. So AC Ray says she wants to see the glow in your eyes so you can do makeup tutorials, Nick. I would pay cash money for you to do a makeup tutorial. Blend. Just remember, the key is blending. Blending and contouring. Not like I knew how to do either one of those, but that's what I heard.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Thank you for, please help us reach a milestone on Twitch. Twitch over to twitch.tv/the GameHounds. That is us. We would love to have you watch us there. So, shall we start the show? Because I've got nothing to talk about. We are all good. Yeah, I can't think of anything. So let's start the show. Oh, shoot. Before I get that, I gotta actually start the show. Let me get my Audacity up. Yes, save changes. We want we want to record. We have sound.
You need to get the tools set up to record before you record. That's always good.
Right, yeah. Okay. We are up and recording. We have waveforms. Let's start the show.
This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 651. We are recording this on Sunday, September 4th, 2022. First show of September, and we were just talking before the show how everybody is in California is literally burning up with this heat wave, except for us. Both Nick and I are like in 70-degree weather, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, the Bay Area. Yeah.
We are so spoiled where we are. And there's a reason. There is a reason why it is so fucking expensive in the Bay Area. And everybody talks about how expensive LA is. On a day like this, everyone should be running, screaming from LA.
Oh, yeah.
They should, because it's like 100 bajillion degrees down there. It's 100 bajillion degrees, 20 miles that direction. But for us, we're on the water. We're 70 degrees. We're gorgeous. So.
That's way too much bloom.
How was your week?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We need to talk about some games because in fact, I forgot to put it up here. The Forgotten City. You gave me a challenge. You tried Stardew Valley. And didn't go very far in it and already declared that you didn't like it, which isn't fair. You need to go back.
I've added it to my wish list on Switch. So if it goes on sale on Switch, there's a good chance I might pick it up.
Okay. But I, in reciprocity to my challenge to you for Stardew Valley, you made me pick up the Forgotten City, and I actually had to buy it twice because I was trying to do it on PC, but my laptop really couldn't run a stream and the game at the same time. So I had to essentially abandon it on Twitch or on Steam, the Steam copy, and go to and re-buy it on PS5. So that's what we did.
Like the PS5 features of being able to broadcast on Twitch while also sharing your screen with me so I can see it worked shockingly well. Shockingly
well. I figured it was just done for, that there would be no way that it would work but it did. And it was good. I really, really liked it. In fact, I finished it up.
I feel like that's debatable.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing, is that I did stream the whole game. The first half I played with Nick. The second half I played yesterday, and I quote unquote finished it up. When I finished it up, and I'm air quoting, because apparently I did not. When I finished it up, I didn't realize that I was finishing it when I did. I just made a choice and the game ended. And it was like, oh, crap. Didn't mean to do that. Well, I got an ending, and it was an ending. I would say it was not a very good ending. But if you want to go back and watch it, it is available on Twitch. I'm going to move it over to YouTube so that you can watch it, because YouTube's just that much easier to watch that kind of stuff. But it is... it is good. It is great. But I'm going to have to probably go back. And if you do watch it, here is a warning for you. If you do watch this game, keep in mind that it is, you are going to essentially wreck the game for yourself, because it's about puzzles. And we haven't talked about it before. It's a game where you essentially live the same day over, or it's actually the same. Yeah, I guess it is the same day. The day starts in the morning and it ends at dusk when an election happens. And you are in this city that you've kind of been dropped through a time portal to kind of solve what's going to happen. And it's this hidden city that is, you're in modern times when you drop through this portal into the city. But they are actually from Roman 800 BC or 400 BC, I forget it was, but ancient Rome. So all of these people got transported there, and they are they're what's the word I want? They're stuck in this portal, and this world, this particular city in this kind of, I want to say, pocket dimension, has a condition on it that if you break the golden rule, and it's not really clear what the golden rule is other than stealing, killing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like sin. If you
sin, it's
whatever
sin,
that means.
But it's not sin. I mean, nobody really knows what the definition of the sin is, or what sins are considered sins. You find out later as you go through it that some things that they thought were sins were actually not sins. And of course, there's no way to test it, because if anyone in this town sins, then they are all turned into these golden statues you see all along the city. So in the process of arriving in the city, you are told that someone in the city is going to break the golden rule, and you need to stop them. Figure out who it is and stop them. And therein lies the puzzles. And the puzzle solution for you is predicated upon you find out things about the city, and then you can essentially kill the city or let it go through the day so that the golden rule is broken and everything starts to try and everything kills everyone, but you get to escape back through the portal and relive that day over again. And it's not just that, you get to keep everything that's on you. So say there's a door that's locked and you get the key at some other time, or you going through a particular area, you get the key for something that you can't get back to. If you wait long enough, or if you break the golden rule, that everything restarts over, and then now you've got the key. So you don't have to go through all the whole hassle to getting to the key. You've already got it on you. So yeah, I got an answer because I didn't realize I was at an answer point that would end the game, and I did end the game, and apparently I did not learn the secret of the city.
Did you ever meet, because I know you didn't meet her when we were playing, a character named Equita?
Who is she?
She's the Vestal Priestess.
Yes.
She gives you the mission of like
finding patterns.
Yeah, finding patterns.
Yes,
Um,
I met her.
Okay, if you complete her quest, you get. She kind of is the one that will point you in the direction of like the story or the
Oh,
truth.
okay. Yeah, there were a bunch of. I mean, I even said it at the end of the show. I know I left a lot of stuff undone. I know that I left a lot of stuff that just didn't quite make it through the.
I mean, what I think is neat is I think it saves right before you make that choice.
Oh,
And so you could like reload the save, then just break the loop
not make
and
that
start
choice.
things over. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Although, oh yeah, because since it's all looping, no matter what, you should be able to always loop to start things fresh.
Right. Yeah, and the statues are creepy. Like, for example, you can see the statue is not looking at me there, and then you turn around and she doesn't do it again, but she'll be looking at you later. Like, wait, turn around, look at the statue. Oh, she hasn't done it, hasn't turned her head. But the statues will absolutely turn their head when you don't have their your eyes on them. Sometimes they'll look at you. Sometimes they will look in the direction where, oh, there you go. See, she just turned her head and she's looking towards that door and she's telling me to go in that door. So you gotta look at statues, but it's a pretty fun game. I really, really enjoyed it. And I did not expect that there would be any combat, but there is a significant part of the game that is combat based.
Yeah. I just when you get to it too, there's even a little message that's like, "Hey, would you like to skip all of this?"
Because this is combat based, and if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, which is nice. This game is very
Yes.
has a self-awareness to it. Like, there were a couple of jokes in there about the pandemic.
That's right.
There were a couple of the fact that the game says straight out, if you plan to stream this, tell your listeners this is a spoiler cast because you're gonna spoil the secrets. Yeah, it's got that kind of self-awareness of that it is of how people would play, and it's just. It seems like a game that is built with gamers in mind, understanding gamers and understanding all gamers are different. The fact that it would say, hey, do you not want to do this combat session? Recognizes and appreciates, values gamers that don't like to do combat. They like RPGs. They like puzzle and point and click. And I don't say call this point and click adventure, but puzzling through mysteries. But they don't like combat.
And it knows that it has not asked the player to do that up until that point.
Right.
And so it's like, hey, we're going to take a shift. If you don't want to follow us, that's fine. You can skip to the end. And it is kind of the same no matter what. Like the combat section is just a straight combat section. Like there's no real important narrative or revelations that you get through combat. It's just get from point A to point B, and then at point B, that's when you get the story.
Right. So, great game. I mean, even though I still don't know the secret of the city.
Like once
game.
you know. Like
yeah, okay.
You'll know when you hit it.
Okay.
And like what's cool is you'll find a revelation, you'll learn something, and that's not it.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
You think you know.
You think you know, but you don't know.
But you don't. You know.
I found out a revelation about someone that was like, oh, did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, I remember in text you mentioned the Central.
Yeah.
What is that?
Or is it? No, the top guy.
Oh,
the guy.
The leader, the mayor.
The leader.
Okay.
The mayor. Yeah. So I found something about him that was like, oh, really? And so yeah. The graffiti is hilarious. Like, for example, I translate this graffiti. I hope come on, give me the translation. Come on, hit translate. I know I'm going to hit the translate button any second now because I'm trying to sound it out. I remember Theophilus had an orgy with 4 girls here and disappointed all of them equally. So, anyway, really, really good game. If you did not watch the Gamecast, if you did not watch on Twitch, I recommend you go watch it on Twitch. It's really good. So, thank you for having, and it's nice because it feels like it's not a small game, but it feels small. It doesn't feel like, like Elden Ring, you're in for 250 hours.
Yes.
It is a commitment. This doesn't feel like a commitment. Like it feels like 2-3 nights I could roll through this and probably play the whole game and then get to a point where I want to see the other stuff. I didn't get that feeling from another game that's very similar in a way. But the what was the game that we played together? Where we had to help make the decisions about what they were going to do with
As Dusk Falls.
As Dusk Falls. As Dusk Falls felt like a bigger game. And I don't know, it probably isn't. Maybe because it was broken up into these multiple chapters.
Yeah.
But,
it feels like to see all of Has Dusk Falls, you've got to replay the whole thing over and over again. Whereas Forgotten City is like, no, you loop and then we give you shortcuts so that you don't have to do all that other stuff again.
Right. And I see, and as you're doing the shortcuts, I see how things are going to play out. I see answers to solutions, to problems. And I don't want to break anything, but I started to see stuff.
Yeah, like when the loop starts, there's a guy waiting for you named Galerius, and you tell him to like go do this stuff.
Right, because things are going to happen. It's like, go do this, and it's going to do. That's exactly what I was thinking about. I know how I want the election at the end of the day to go, and it's going to be based on the fact that I make Galerius do all of these things that help people. I see that happening.
And it's so fun to be, here, I've got like these 5 things for you to do. Go do that. I'm going to go like see what's in this cave. Bye.
Bye. So anyway, good game. Liked it. Would play it again. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I'd give it like, it's hard to do 10 out of 10. But I'll definitely give it a solid 8.5.
I would rank it pretty high. I really, really enjoyed
Yeah, I was going to say, was there a reason why you shared that?
Yeah, I was going to get to it first. I was trying to prep the stream, but
that's why you have to do that before we start the stream.
Anyways, no, it's. I think I played it this year, and it's definitely high on my top 10.
Yeah, I would put it definitely on a top 10 for me as well. It's really, really, really good. So yeah, we'll recommend that we do that. I'm sorry, I'm having to share that again. I would recommend we did that. In fact, I wanted to play it with you, last night, so that if you'd have been there, you would have said, "Do you want to make that choice? Because that's not the choice you want to make." I would warn against that.
I would have it's good to see the endings. It's good to see the various endings. It's just
true.
you got to know.
I did end it as early as I possibly could. So I've seen the earliest ending you could get, I think. So anyway, did you play anything this week?
Yes, I actually started a new game because I feel like I have to have something to say on the podcast. I played a game called Into the Breach. This is another it recently came out on iOS, and it's actually part of the Netflix subscription games. It came out like years and years and years ago, and it got rave reviews. But I kept waiting for it to come out on mobile devices, and it finally did with an expansion, and it has part of Netflix's initiative into gaming. So because I'm a Netflix subscriber, I downloaded it on my iPad and have started playing it. It is a tactical. I have a type, right? It's a tactical turn-based strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing. What's neat about it is you're kind of just thrown in. You can start on any island. You kind of start with one island. If you beat that, you can go to the next. Beat that, go to the next. Once you beat an island, within the next loop, because it's a looping game, time loop, you can just do any island in any order. That doesn't matter. What's neat about the turn-based aspect of it is that it feels very chess-like in that it gives you every little piece of information you could ask for on the screen. So like you can see what enemy is going to go. If you hit the attack order button, you can see what order the enemies are going to attack in, which means you can set up chains where, oh, it looks like enemy A is going to hit one of my mechs, but enemy B is going to attack first. So if I can somehow reposition the enemy so that B goes first, he'll attack the enemy, kill it, and my guy will get free. And the basic story, there's not a whole lot of story to it. It's, hey, giant bugs are threatening the world, and you're these time traveling mechs that have to save it. Every time, it's very roguelike-ish. It is a roguelike. If you fail, you can take one of your time travelers, one of your pilots, and send them back in time. If you succeed, then they go, hey, yay, we saved this timeline. You send one of your mechs back in time to save another timeline. So it's always looping.
What is it about time looping this week? It's all games about time loops.
Yeah, it just worked out that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's neat how they handle that, though, because you send the pilot back in time, and the pilot is not the mech. And so as you level up your pilots, you can actually take them and move them into other mechs so that some pilot skills actually fit better with other mechs than other pilots. You can kind of mix and match like this. And as you play through, there's a whole lot of slow advancement, like I'm going to slowly I'm going to get a power cell, and then I'm going to attach that to a mech, and it's going to get +2 health. Or I'm going to save that, and put that into a weapon, which will augment that weapon and give it a new ability. And yeah, it's just the basics of the turn-based tactics. The fact that you can see this enemy has a dotted line going to a building. It's going to attack that building. I need to do something to stop it. You have moves that can hurt enemies. You have moves that can reposition them. If a bug is about to attack a building, sometimes the best strategy is not to attack the bug, but to attack next to it so that the force of the explosion pushes the bug to another tile so that when it attacks the mountain next to the building instead of the building. So you're constantly thinking about, how do I want to reposition the bugs? How do I want to reposition the mechs? The fact that if a building gets damaged, that damages the power grid. And that's sort of like your overall health. If the power grid gets 0, game over, start the loop over. Your mechs, on the other hand, regain all their health after each turn, after each level. So it becomes a strategy of like, well, I can't change the position of this bug. It's going to attack. But if I stick my mech in between it and the building, the mech takes that hit, takes that damage, and I need to keep him alive, but I protect the building. And so through the mechanics, it gets you thinking, like something from Pacific Rim, where you're a giant mech, you jump in front of a giant kaiju to protect the building. Every time a building gets hit, you see a little notice that says like 98 civilians died. It's like, oh shit. Okay, let's try not to let that happen again. So it feels like one of those fun monster battles. Whenever a level starts, the mechs drop in from the top and you see little dialogue bubbles around all the buildings. They're like, oh, the mechs are here. All right, daddy, look. Things like that. And at the end of every level, the little dialogue bubbles will appear on the building. It's like, oh, they did great. Yeah, get those bugs. The mechs saved us all. So it creates a fun feeling of like kind of a Saturday morning cartoon kaiju battle, but the depth of the tactics are really, really impressive. And like I said, because it's so good at giving you all this information, things like, hey, like I said, if you hit next to a bug, you push it. If you push it into something, then it will bounce off and take damage. If you push it into a building, that building would get damaged. Well, that sucks. If you push it into another bug, then the other bug takes damage. So it's like you're kind of setting up all, like right here, you can see he's going to do something that's going to push a bug into another bug, into a mech, and all three are going to take damage. And so the whole game is about kind of setting up these chain reactions to try to think, what is the best thing to do this turn? And it feels like there's always a right answer. I know that's not the case because the way the game's designed, inevitably you could get yourself into a situation where, hey, a building's going to get hit. You can't stop it. But there are so many layers to the tactics, so many options at your disposal, so many ways to augment your weapons, augment your movement, augment your pilots, that I've learned if I just sit and look at the screen and spend like 10 minutes planning my move, I can get the perfect move. And there have been times where I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, mech, you have 3 mechs. First one is going to do this, second one's going to do this, third one, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll just have them attack. And then I realize, wait a minute. The third one I can move over here, second one, first one, and it all clicks and I'm like, not only did I save all the buildings, saved all the mechs, killed all the bugs, and I'm like, I got the answer. I got the perfect move. And then it goes on to the next turn and you start over again. But it scratches that tactical itch like so well. Honestly, better than a lot of the other tactics games I've played this year.
Really? So is this going to be on your top 10 list?
It's definitely on the top 10 list, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 2 huge winners this week.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to play this week? Anything? Do you know?
Well, one of the things with Into the Breach is you start with a mech team, the default mech team.
Mm-hmm.
As you play, you earn points, and you can use those to unlock new mech teams. I want to play the game with some of those new mech teams because they sound like they add a whole bunch of more mechanical twists to it. And the game is really cool about difficulty. At the beginning, you can choose like normal, but then you can choose mission difficulty. Do you want your objectives for each level to be like the base level? Do you want them to be more complicated? Do you want enemies to be base level? Do you want the enemies to be harder? And you can mix and match all of these types of difficulties so that I want the resources to be scarce. I want the missions to be complicated, but I want the bugs I face to be relatively easy. And like you can outfit it all like that. So now what I want to do, I did manage to beat the game with the default team on the normal difficulty. Now I want to try to up that difficulty, see what else I can do.
Okay. So
I want to do that.
Goal.
More Elden Ring. Watch you learn the mind-blowing truth of the Forgotten City.
So you want to be on there for the next one, right?
I want to be on there at a specific moment when you will go, what the fuck just happened?
You busy tonight?
I think I can do tonight.
Okay, let's do it. Do it tonight because I think that I will probably be able to get through that. Yeah, I am reticent to go back, but I will make a promise to you. I will go back and find the truth of the city because apparently I need to play it more. If you promise me, you will play Stardew Valley with me more.
Okay.
We'll do that multiplayer. We do that this week.
Okay.
Okay, because we're kind of in that same spot where we want the other person to just go a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit further. A little bit
I
further.
think you're going to change your mind, So, all right. And that's probably what I'm going to do this week. And we'll talk about in the newscast about something else I'm going to probably be doing this week. All right. So on that note, shall we hit the news?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds News, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is...
I think this is the most above the fold one. Tencent and Sony have both, together, they have acquired 30% into FromSoft. FromSoft is actually owned by another company called like Katakawa Holdings or something like that, but whatever. Sony and Tencent invested into Elden Ring is basically the gist of it.
Right. No, well, they've already... Well, they did have a stake in it before, but they increased
I think they had a
their
small
stake.
one.
They had a small one.
They increased to 30%, and not 30% each, like
No,
30%
no.
between them.
No, so Sony now owns 14.09% of From, and via its Sixjoy subsidiary, and Tencent via its Sixjoy subsidiary now owns 16.25%, 16.25%. So Sony a smidgen over 14%. And Tencent 16.25% of the company, and of course, like I said, that Katakawa is the majority owner, still owns almost 70%, 69.33% of from software.
I think they've said like this is basically like investor funding was like, hey, now with this money we can go do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also seen some speculation that this might be Sony's way of getting them to make a Bloodborne sequel.
Possibly, and they didn't. The announcement by From Software indicates that not only will they be planning to expand on Elden Ring, which I believe is like broken a lot of records, not just in sales. But did you know that it is the fastest viewed, the debut of that, the fastest viewed YouTube video in YouTube history? Something like an absurd amount in 30 days. I wish I could remember, but some absurdly millions of people watched it the first 30 days. Or had views of just like... a million. I mean, not a million. Sorry, 100 million. It was in the first 30 days. It was just crazy how many.
I'm sure a lot of that too is people watching it over and over again.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Look,
people were already tearing it apart from the moment that it debuted.
I speak from experience. Us Souls-like fans are a weird, obsessive bunch.
They were looking at every single fucking pixel to see if they could figure something out.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, according to From Software in their announcement, they said, so From Software will aim to proactively invest in development of more powerful game IP for itself, which means it's not just going to end at Elden Ring. It's going to be more other IP, not just Dark Souls, other IP.
Yes, I know. The thing is, FromSoft has been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. They've made a ton of games before, like the Souls series kind of broke out and put them on the map. One of those games was a game called Armored Core, which was some mech fighting games that were like really big around the PS2 area, but haven't seen an entry in a long time. And there's a lot of rumors that they're working on an update to Armored Core.
Yeah, but that's still, well, I guess so. It says
it's
in
something
development of more powerful game IP for itself.
Yeah, it's an IP they own that I imagine they would want to bring back into the mainstream in some way.
Yeah, but anyway, more powerful game IP for itself to strengthen From Software's development capabilities, and will seek to establish a framework that allows the expansion of the scope of its own publishing in the significantly growing global market. So it looks like, from what I'm hearing, is that they want new IP. They want to also work on old IP, and they want to come out, that this investment is going to allow them to come out guns blaring.
And you know what? When I think about it, they, like the Dark Souls games, there's 3 of them, right? There's a trilogy. But in between that trilogy, they kept making original games. They made Bloodborne, they made Sekiro, then they did Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are not... When you look at something like EA or, Activision, you're like, oh, they've got their franchises, and that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
FromSoft seems to have been really good at, let's take the bones, let's take the genre, like let's take the gameplay loop and put that into a different IP.
Everything that we learned in Bloodborne, we put in the next game. Everything that we learned in Elden Ring, we put in the next game.
Yeah,
but it's not
like,
it may be Elden Ring. It might not be Elden Ring. It might be a whole different thing. But we are iterating constantly on this.
You can definitely see that
taking
iteration.
the good, leaving the bad.
Even if, they're just not making sequels, but they're still learning from what they do.
Right. So, and if you thought it was just Elden Ring, like I said, it's not just Elden Ring, and it's not just even Elden Ring games. They said, quote, "Much effort was placed into creating Elden Ring so that we could exceed the expectations of our fans worldwide." This Bandai Namco boss Yasuo Miyakawa said, "In like manner, we will continue our efforts in expanding the brand beyond the game itself and into everyone's daily life." So expect your dishwasher to be Elden Ring flavored.
No. Oh, what's that? If you fail the dishwasher, they all break and you have to start over.
Start over. Yep. If that one time you didn't load correctly has serious repercussions. So anyway, it's clear that there's going to be more Elden Ring, obviously more Elden Ring in more places, and also more other stuff both of the stuff that they have. It seems a little too ambitious for that what they're suggesting. Like, we're going to make more Elden Ring. We're going to make more Elden Ring, more places. We're going to make other new IP that are going to be fantastic. And we're going to do all these other existing IPs and expand those as well. It's too much. They're not going to be able to do it all.
It feels like they're pretty good at not biting off more than they could chew. They put out a game every couple years, but they're working on things.
Is FromSoftware the new CD Projekt Red? Where they've got this unbelievable goodwill and complete faith of the gaming community that can only be uprooted and harmed. And when it does, everyone is going to come down on them like a ton of bricks.
Yes.
Everyone's going to feel personally betrayed when FromSoftware fucks up.
I feel like they will like that for a small group of Souls-like fans up until Elden Ring. With the release of Elden Ring, now it's like, FromSoft. They never make a bad game.
They never make a bad game. The first mistake they make is going to be a fall from grace that is going to break hearts around the world.
I mean, and I think that's where it's good that they make something like Armored Core, which is a hard shift away from the style and genre of Souls-likes. Diversify is good, because when you diversify and then like you fail, it's okay, because like, oh, you were trying something different, right?
I almost wish FromSoftware would come out and say, look, everyone, let's be real. We're going to release a bad game one day. Just keep this in mind. We're going to release a terrible game one day. It happens to everyone. Just be prepared. We're going to try our best not to do it, but do not send us death threats if we screw up a game. Like, don't try to murder our developers and our code testers.
What I think the best case scenario, they come out with Armored Core, and it's a really good game for a niche group of people that most people are like, I don't really like this. I think it sucks. But a lot of niche players who are like, this is exactly what I want. That's what they need. They need a game that's not a big mainstream smash hit. They're like, no. Let's make a
Will
game
the
for those
Elden
10
Ring
people.
community accept that? Do you think? You might, because you are, I consider you to be pretty reasonable and you understand what From Software is. Do you think that if they release something that is not like Elden Ring in the next one, that people are going to not be upset that
No,
they aren't getting another Elden Ring?
I think people will be upset, but the thing is, they will also be working on another Souls-like game. And you know what? Who else is? Half the fucking gaming industry. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, AC Wraith brings up digital extremes in Warframe. I'm curious how Soulframe does, because Warframe again is like big live service game. It's kept the lights on at Digital Extremes for the past like 8 years. How do they follow that? How do you follow up a game like Warframe?
Yeah. Well, clearly they don't. They just make more Warframe.
Well, they are like they're making Soulframe, which is something.
AC Wraith also says, I still have my PS1 Armored Core games. I loved them. I had one or two of the PS2 ones, and I bought them before I even owned the console, but I never really got into them. Armored Core was my first mission-based game.
I always wanted to like them more than I did.
It's an interesting take on it.
They're basically a flight sim, but for mechs. And that sounds really cool until you get into it and you're like, these controls are really complicated and I don't know how to move. I don't know how to move and shoot at the same time.
Alan Caspar on Facebook says, Armored Core is bomb. We need a new one even.
See,
Even
what
if it's not what we deserve.
I would like them.
Buttons my ass.
I really want them to come out with the new Armored Core game because I want to revisit it now. Right? It's one of those games where the first time I played them, I was a teenager, right? Like I didn't really know what I was doing. I would like to go back to them with what I know about games now.
I wonder, are they in any like service, like streaming or?
Let me see.
That would be interesting for you to go back. Because also remember, we still have to go back to what's the game? Heavy Rain. We have to go back to Heavy Rain.
Oh, yes.
I'm looking forward to this because I think I'm going to hate it twice as much this time around. AC Ray says they didn't even have analog controls until what? Nexus?
Okay, so it looks like there might be an Armored Core on the 360, which might be backwards compatible.
That would be kind of interesting. I wonder if it's on the 360, does that mean it's possible that it could be on Game Pass? As a 360, throwback?
Maybe. Well, I searched the PlayStation Store and came up with...
Was it only
nothing.
on Sony? No, you said 360. Yeah.
No, what's it? Xbox Live. There, Marketplace, Xbox Live. I don't even know if this is a good one, but it's Armored Core Verdict Day.
Okay. Anybody that's one of the, like Alan or AC Wraith, was that a good Armored Core? AC Wraith said, we used to have to use shoulder buttons to aim up and down. It's a third-person shooter. Oh, wow. Anyway, so yes, Tencent. Let's see. I remember AC Wraith. I remember analog wasn't yet common in the PS1 days. Yep. Analog sticks didn't come in until the PS2. So yeah, I guess we're gonna kind of go back. Sing it, AC Wraith, Alan says. Hallelujah. Testify. So the Tencent is and Sony now own a much bigger share than they did and so we will see. So, my next item, and since we're talking about Elden Ring, let's get into some more Elden Ring news. Elden Ring gets a manga, a comedy manga. So the manga is being hosted by it's an official manga adaptation. So this isn't like, third party or even, like fan art. It is absolutely. It's more of a comedy manga than you might ever think with a game, especially as serious as Elden Ring. So
Elden
the manga
Ring can get pretty wacky.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that there's so many ways to die in such ludicrous manners that even though obviously the game takes itself seriously, this manga does not. The manga is being hosted on Comic Walker, where you can already read the first 2 chapters for free. It has art from Nikiichi Tobita, and the story is obviously adapted from Elden Ring itself. It starts much the same as the game's opening slideshow does, with lovingly rendered drawings based on the original art. But from the first page, you are met with ass. I am going to look. I'm seeing if I can pull up the first page on it. Let's see. Yeah, there. Let me go to the right screen here. Stand by. Need to copy, paste. All right. So here it is on Comic Walker, and you can just begin reading. I don't know if even this will come up. We'll see. There it is. So, yep. So available for you right now. I'm just going to show you the first page. You can see it all in its glory. So, and I guess there's maybe in the second page, there's going to be some ass.
He noticed the strange lack of cats.
What is it? You're offering a chord. When we last saw our hero? You're offering a chord. You'd notice a strange lack of cats in Limgrave. Anyway, so there it is. Feel free. Go nuts. Go nuts, nerds. Nerds!
Actually, that reminds me, and I'll just put out there, before Elden Ring came out, Critical Role did a kind of tabletop version where they played through it like a little homebrew campaign.
Right.
Of that takes place in Elden Ring. That kind of use some of the mechanics. It's hilarious.
Really?
It is absolutely hilarious. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it, but like by the end, that was one of my favorite of their side projects.
All right.
When they get into ghost horses, it's classic.
Alan Casper says this feels like a metaphor. Maybe. So yeah. What?
One of the so in Elden Ring, there's this idea that like, oh, you're tarnished and you have a maiden with you, right? Someone who like helps you level up. When you wake up and you go outside for the first time, one of the things you meet is this guy going, "Oh, I see you're maidenless. That's going to be trouble." And it's become a whole running gag of like, "Oh, you're maidenless. You're maidenless." A distinct lack of cats in Limgrave. I feel like there really is a metaphor there.
Oh, I see. Hello, little pussycat. Hello.
I might have to read that. That's really good. I didn't even catch that. Thank you, Alan.
All right. So anyway, that's my Elden Ring news. Meow. Well said, Alan. Yeah, that's my news. So check it out. Comedy manga, Elden Ring official. And AC Wraith says, I hereby apologize for not naming those links redacted. Yeah, I mean, the joke is past. Their joke is past.
Look, we're going to be talking about it for years to come.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to get over that. And it's really hard to talk about redacted comics and redacted this and redacted this. So, next item.
Phil Spencer has been out talking about Game Pass and Activision Blizzard, clearly trying to ease people's fears about the merger. And one of the things he says is franchises like Diablo and Overwatch are going to come to Game Pass. Like, hands down, no argument there. But Call of Duty, he was a little waffling on. So the idea that Call of Duty coming to Game Pass maybe wouldn't be the case, but he has reiterated that, quote, "We are committed to making the same version of Call of Duty available on PlayStation on the same day the game launches elsewhere." So he's at least saying, we'll put this out on PlayStation. Whether or not that means it will also be included on Game Pass, seems like it's kind of an open question at this point.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because a lot of people would buy that game, and if you don't put that on your streaming service, I imagine you would rake in a lot of money from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That is kind of strange that he was waffling on that, especially because there's another, and I don't know if that's related. I'm doing a quick banner because I didn't have my own banner after I make fun of you for so much for not letting me know when I'm about to add something. But I remember seeing this morning in the news and I don't know if this is related, but according to sources, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, he said he's made the commitment in a letter written to PlayStation head Jim Ryan last year that Call of Duty will not be pulled from PlayStation. In fact, they have agreed that they're going to have Call of Duty on PlayStation for several more years, which means, and I guess their current contract runs out in the next, I think I read it was like 2 years is when their current contract runs out, and they've already said that they wouldn't be removing it, PlayStation or Call of Duty off of PlayStation because there's an existing contract. But apparently they have signed an additional contract that is longer than you would expect and kind of not common within the game industry, uncommonly long. So it seems that, and they weren't, neither Xbox or Sony have been very clear about exactly how long Call of Duty is now contracted to be on the PlayStation. But it's certainly longer than the existing contract, so it's not coming away from there anytime soon. And I wonder if that plays into a certain part of that. This is the Call of Duty. He was probably waffling, because Call of Duty is going to be on both platforms. We know this. They've said it flat out. If that's the case, then keeping Call of Duty in your back pocket of, we can put it onto Game Pass anytime we like. And when that happens, we kill Sony's purchasing on it. We'll destroy it. So that's why he waffled. He didn't say no.
No.
He didn't say yes. This is their ace in the hole. This is an emergency brake. This is their brake in the emergency brake glass. Pull lever and destroy Sony's income on.
I also feel like it would make for good. I don't know. A movie comes out in theaters, and then there's like, hey, it's the streaming release date, and it comes out on streaming platforms to buy, to rent, and there's kind of a boost because it's now become available elsewhere.
Right.
If they put out Call of Duty on demand, basically, where you download it, you pay full price for it, blah blah blah. Then 6 months later, it comes to Game Pass. That's kind of like a big shot in the arm and another big publicity thing, right? You kind of bring it back.
Right.
6 months, I feel like you would get a lot of those initial sales, and then you get an extra boost of player base 6 months later.
Right. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying is that if the player base of Game Pass starts to fall, all they have to do is put Call of Duty onto their service, and all of a sudden, everybody leaves PlayStation's services and goes to, it's the deal breaker. It would be the deal breaker for people that were already on PlayStation, who leave PlayStation to go to Xbox, and they know it. If they had Call of Duty on it, like a new Call of Duty, not just the old ones. In addition, it also, scenario number 2 that I could think of, it also might be a condition of these contracts to PlayStation. Like, Sony doesn't have, Microsoft doesn't have to make a deal, a nice extended deal with Sony, but it did.
Although
it could be that Sony said,
looks good to regulators.
Hey, how about this? Could you add one more little tiny thing, is that you're not going to put it on Game Pass? Just because, they know that if Sony's got it, then they know that now Microsoft has a leverage on them that they could exploit later.
I feel like it's, like I said, it also looks good for regulators of like, hey, look, we could be amassing everything and just holding it all, but we're willing to play fair. We're willing to share our toys.
Right.
So
it does go as evidence against the whole, like, Call of Duty is a franchise that can't be owned because then it's a monopoly, and that all that thing. It kind of goes against it when it's like, oh, you have a 10-year contract for all the next Call of Duties. So it's not a monopoly. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, yes, Call of Duty is going to be on PlayStation for the foreseeable future. And also, the whole, like, Diablo, Overwatch coming to Game Pass. Call of Duty, maybe not so. Don't know why. My next item is, since we're already talking about Game Pass, let's talk about Game Pass and also PS Plus. Sony and Microsoft announced what's coming and what's leaving. I should say about coming and leaving to Game Pass and PS Plus in September. So here's what's coming to PlayStation Plus. For the PlayStation Plus Essentials, which is everybody gets.
Okay, I was going to ask, with the PlayStation, we have to specify what's part of the monthly games and what's part of the, like, actual subscription service.
Right. So the PS Plus Essentials is Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which was from the PS4, Need for Speed Heat for the PS4, and Toem, which is for the PS5. I guess it's a game that is about photography.
That's Toem. I actually heard good things about Toem.
PS Plus game catalog is so long. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, Assassin's Creed Origins, Chicory: A Colorful Tale, Deathloop, which is going to be on. These are all coming on September 20th. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game, 5.
5? They made 5 of them.
Yes. That's coming September 20th. Rabbids Invasion, the interactive TV show. Rayman Legends, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, complete edition for the PS4. And Watch Dogs 2. Now, the PlayStation Plus Premium classics are Siphon Filter for the PS1, Bentley's Hack Pack for the PS3. This is going to be available for cloud streaming. Kingdom of Paradise for the PSP. These are all coming out September 20th also, by the way. The Sly Collection, which is a PS3 game that is coming via the cloud streaming. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, also PS3, also cloud streaming. And Toy Story 3 for the PSP. Now, everything coming to Xbox Game Pass, much shorter. Games with Gold is going to be Gods Will Fall. That's September 1st through the 30th. Thrillville is September 1st through the 15th. Double Kick Heroes is September 16th through October 15th. And Portal 2, which is the Xbox 360 game via backwards compatibility, is coming September 16th.
And I do believe that is the last Xbox 360 backwards compatible game to be offered.
Probably.
Like, I saw a news story that from now on, going forward, the monthly games will not include 360.
Got it.
They're ending on a banger.
They're ending on a very big banger. Game Pass games coming is Grid Legends via EA Play. Require Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. That is September 1st. Disney Dreamlight Valley, September 6th. Train Sim World 3, September 6th. Outer Wilds for the Xbox Series X, September 15th. Hard Space.
Outer Wilds. Yeah, that's the. Oh, it left. It was on there, then it left. Now it's coming back.
It's coming back.
Okay.
Hard Space Shipbreaker, September 20th.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
Beacon Pines, September 22nd. Slime Rancher 2, September 22nd. On the 27th, you're going to get an additional 2 games, Grounded and Moonscars. Aren't you playing Grounded?
No, isn't that already on Game Pass? Isn't that the Honey I Shrunk the Kids survival game?
I thought so, isn't it?
Is it like coming out of early access and it's finally being released?
I guess so. On Game Pass. So here's what's leaving.
What do I need to go play tonight?
Okay, what do you got to go play tonight? Here's what's leaving. PlayStation Plus, Little Nightmares for the PS4. It's leaving September 5th, so it's leaving tomorrow. PlayStation. Leaving tomorrow is Little Nightmares, so go get it now. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 Cross-Gen Deluxe Bundle, which was for the PS4 and the PS5, September 5th, tomorrow. So go get it now if you want it. Also leaving tomorrow is Unrailed for the PS4. And also leaving is Yakuza Like a Dragon for the PS4 and the PS5. Here's what's leaving Game Pass. Elite Dangerous. It's actually all of these already left. So here's what's not there if you want to go looking for it. Elite Dangerous, Hades, Myst, NBA 2K22, Signs of the Sojourner, Spiritfarer, which I know that some people didn't like. I thought was
I always meant to get to it.
12 Minutes, 2 Point Hospital, also a fun
good
game.
riddance.
Oh, 12 Minutes?
Oh, God, that game.
You hated that game, huh?
It's everybody owes it to themselves to play that game, because you cannot be a good critic of games. You cannot see the breadth of what they can offer unless you play that game and realize just how absolutely fucking awful every single design decision about it is.
Oh, really?
It's so bad.
Now I'm sort of sorry I don't have it.
I fucking hate that game. No, do yourself a favor. Don't bother playing it because you'll only waste time. Just go on, do what I did. I played it for like a couple hours, realized it was terrible, and then watch a YouTube walkthrough.
Okay, all right.
Watch a YouTube walkthrough so that you can see how fucking terrible the story is and how it goes to these crazy, dumb places without us having suffered through the game. Anyways, sorry.
What Remains of Edith Finch, which I loved.
That's very
Goalie
great.
hated.
That's a loss. That is a deep loss.
Yeah. And World War Z. So that's everything
really
coming,
like that
everything going. Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. That's your month right there. In the comments, Gamer Tomorrow says, have you guys talked about the Dead Island standard price point? Do I not know it? Did something happen? Nearly $100 Canadian? Oh my God. What is it? Look that up for me. Really? I missed that. How did that get past me?
What? It's $70. It looks like. Nearly 100 Canadian.
Let's see. Best Buy Canada. Oh, the Dead Island 2. No, what is it? What is it called? It's not Dead Island 2.
It is. It's Dead Island 2.
It's because it's all bringing up the Xbox One and PlayStation prices. Dead Island 2, 2022. Actually, 2023. Price point.
Are you talking about the Hella edition? That's $100.
Release date, Dead Island 2. I didn't see anything about the price point being $100 Canadian. I'm sure AC Wraith would find a link for us.
It looks like there's a special edition that's $100, and then regular edition is regular price.
That makes sense. So, since that got mentioned, he said the standard on the PlayStation Store is $91.23 Canadian. So let me see. CAD to USD. It is 91.23 is 91.23 is 69.41. Yeah, that's $70. That's what we're going to be paying.
See, those Canadians, they just make more money than we do.
No, it's well, I mean, we're essentially Canadian dollar is 75 cents US dollar. So, yeah, we get a 25% quote unquote discount on the price, but it's not really a discount. So yeah, that makes kind of sense. I'm not happy about the price of it going up to $70, but if that's the case, there must have been other games that are almost $100 because $70 is not an unprecedented price for a game right now.
Horizon, Dying Light 2, literally anything on PlayStation 5, pretty much.
Pretty much anything on PlayStation 5. Yeah. And AC Ray says, yeah, I'm getting $70 even in Canadian stores. So it's, yes, it is almost $100. But I think there are other games that are almost $100 as well.
It's conversion.
It's conversion. Yeah. And also, keep in mind that it probably is a conversion factor because even though we are in a global slump economically, the US dollar is actually right now one of the strongest currencies. So we're weathering it better than most countries. So whereas the Canadian dollar, was used to be probably like 90 cents for American, it's now 75 cents for American. So this is where currency fluctuations, this is where the global economy is sort of a problem.
Other things are getting more expensive.
Right. Everything's going to be more expensive. And everything's going to be technically cheaper for us because we have the stronger dollar. I mean, we have a lot of also foreign countries and foreign investors that are selling euro and buying. The euro is about $1. The euro is always like $1.50. And I think we're getting close to $1 parity with the pound, which is unheard of. The pound is like $2 American, has always been. So, yeah, that's an example of how currency fluctuations affect prices of games. And you sent me a pic by Twitter. I will look that up when Nick comes up with his next item. But first, since we are talking about it, what was it that we said? Oh, collector's editions. Since you said collector's editions, let's talk about collector's editions. There was a thing that happened this week. The Last of Us Part 1, the newly released game, had a collector set that came out that was $100. It was the game plus this extra set. Well, a lot of them, it's called the Firefly Edition, by the way. It was exclusive to the Sony store. You could only buy it from Sony. Almost every single one of them is arriving damaged because Sony didn't package them properly. Let me pull up some Twitter since I'm already got it.
Yeah, what's in the?
It has it let's see. Let me find. It had like a cardboard box. It was a box. It was sent out in a cardboard presentation pack. It had some comic books in it, like the first 4 editions of the Last of Us comics, a couple of other things. And I'm pulling up my screen. Here is a Reddit post from someone. This is how they packaged it. They just stuck it in an envelope, in a padded envelope. And it is, I mean, that's not an outer box. That's the actual box that it comes in. Almost all of them are damaged. Let me get you another one that shows you a more substantial amount of damage. The boxes, of course, are coming back crushed, corners all deeged in. The contents of the box, including the comic books, are ripped in some cases. And
that's not just shipping damage.
That is shipping, because it came from a shipping damage. They just put it
Yeah, but having comics ripped
right.
isn't shipping damage because they're in the box.
Right, because the box got so damaged that it damaged the books inside. It says, the flap of the envelope literally could not even reach the other side, so they stuck it directly on the box top itself. Tons of nasty residue from even ignoring all the actual damage. Very poor experience from PlayStation Direct. Box being folded, because that is the collector's edition box. There's all the gunky residue all over it. There's a corner deeged in. And the news about it is that, well, first off, that Sony allowed someone to send collector's boxes unprotected in a simple padded envelope. Of course, they're going to get beat up. But on top of that, that Sony has flat out said it will not be replacing or refunding any of these collector's editions that were damaged during shipping, even though it's clearly a case that they did not pack them properly. So yeah, I'm sorry. The special edition contains a steel case, the first 4 comics of the American Dream series, as well as a bunch of in-game skins and boosts. Obviously, the in-game skins and boosts are there, but the comic books inside and the steel case are all showing up damaged. The price of that was $100, which is, the normal game is $70. The collector's edition is $100 US dollars. Yeah. So, the fact that there was no option other than buying it from PlayStation, it's kind of sucks. Neither Naughty Dog or Sony have commented on the issue themselves, but they have actually said that they will not be replacing any or refunding anything due to shipping damage, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
It really does.
Dick move.
Yeah, it's a dick move, especially when it's clearly your fault. Clearly your fault that you sent them badly.
Yeah, if they're going to run the storefront and have it, you can only buy the edition from us, then that should make them responsible for shipping.
Right. That's what a lot of people said. A lot of people said, look, if those had been available in a store, I would have gone to the store and not
Also,
had them shipped
like,
for exactly this reason. But you put us in the hook that we had no other option but to ship them. You have a responsibility to package them properly so that when they're shipped, damage doesn't occur. And when it does, you have a responsibility to actually, make it right.
Also, like, whoever shipped it and like the people handling it, I have ordered comic books that come in that same kind of packaging, and they arrive fine.
Right, because they're
Like,
soft. They're not rigid. They're not too big
but I've
for
ordered
the envelope.
other things that are like, a box that can be compressed, and like generally it arrives in pretty good condition. Whoever was handling those boxes was handling them like a basketball.
Yeah. It's a combination of that, and I noticed that these types of damage occurred because I've done a lot of shipping. I did a lot of shipping when I was at the drone company. I did all of the shipping for that drone company. And I noticed that when you pack, well, first off, padded envelopes only work if they're not stretched out. If they're big enough that there's actually, they're not too small for the box, for the item. Clearly, they said, "What's the dimensions of this box?" They bought that dimension of the envelope, not realizing that you need to add about 2 inches on all dimensions for a padded envelope to actually work as a padded envelope. So when you package them like that so tightly, there is no leeway for any bumping. It absolutely shit comes back damaged and torn. And that's exactly what happened. Stuff got torn, stuff got banged up, stuff got folded, like clearly folded in half. Yeah. So anyway, it's a dick move. It's a total dick move. And I'm hoping that Sony and or Naughty Dog starts to make right on this, because I know that they sold a lot of these, but still, I'm calling them out. That if you're gonna put consumers, and these are going to be your biggest fans, these are your people that are going to spend $100 on a collector's edition. You have to make it right for them, and especially if you're taking the obligation. Making the consumer obliged to go through you, you are obliged to make it right when it doesn't go right, especially when it's so clearly your fault.
Yeah. Like, if you have to get it from them, then you take responsibility for all that entails.
Right. So anyway, that was my collector's edition story. Nick's next item.
Halo is having some problems. Let's see, where's the... I particularly like the headline that I made up for it.
Oh, I'll pull it up.
Because... No, did we click at the same time? So, Halo Infinite has been having a lot of trouble generally with live service issues, updating content, that kind of thing. And now it's just continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Season 3 is being extended for another 3 months. Forge, the map making tool that in theory people expected to be there at launch, is also delayed. It was originally planned to come out in September, this month. But now it's just later this year. So in theory, still later this year, but also for a feature people expected at launch, still not there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, co-op, still not there.
Right. I would be playing it now if it was co-op.
Yeah, I might actually be playing it if it was co-op.
Mm-hmm.
But they're adding new maps, they're adding new cosmetics that will help, puff up the season to the new time. A new game mode, a new event that ran this past January. It's coming back again. They are intending to start a beta for a revamp of the experience process, which is really good because right now, experience is based around challenges, which means if you play a match and you don't complete any of those specific challenges, you don't get anything for that match.
Oh.
And that really sucks.
Yeah.
It kind of made me stop playing.
Yeah.
Well, now they're revamping that.
Okay.
Which is now that it's going to dole out XP per match, which makes sense. It's kind of how it should be.
Yeah, and then you get extra XP for the challenges.
Yeah.
That's how everyone else does it for a reason. It's not discouraging.
And so I think Kotaku kind of just summarized it in a good way in that it's both a little and a lot, right? Mm-hmm. They're adding a lot. They're a beta for the revamped XP, new map, new mode, but it's also the things that were missing since launch are still missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Halo Infinite
struggling.
games has service.
Oh.
It was always struggling to be a live service game, and it's still struggling to be a live service game.
It's like they didn't ask anyone who does live service games what they should do for a live service game. It's like just decided to make a live service game and didn't, pulled it out of their ass. Or they made a game and then they decided later to make it a live service game. And that was the mistake.
There's a news story from Jason Schreier about Halo Infinite and how it's shocking that a game that big, this linchpin, Halo,
right.
It came in so hot. Like, it went through such development hell. And at a certain point, they're like, fuck it. Cut off, 60% of what this game is because we just need to finish something.
Yeah. They're going to write a book about the development of that game.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just because it was... There's a couple of tell-all books that I would read about game development. One of them is Halo. The other one would be Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to read the tell-all book about that. See Project Red. Hey, any ex-developers there? Go get yourself a pen name and write it. You could self-publish it and it would sell millions of copies. Because I want to know what exactly happened and what went down.
I want someone to interview a bunch of people. I want to see the
I want to see Jason. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a book by Jason Schreier about what went down because he has the access to all the people and being able to coalesce all of the interviews with people and be able to write a really, really good expose, a tell-all. I mean, a tell-all book expose.
He did do an article about it, which is like
he did, but I would love to see a long form book going into all of the details and all of exactly how it is. In fact, I would love to see a novelized version of that. I don't know if you've ever read a novelized expose. And The Band Played On was kind of the first one. Have you read And the Band Played On? Everyone should read And the Band Played On. Oh my God, will change your life. Randy Schultz. It is the book about what happened during the AIDS crisis. And it is fascinating. And on top of that, he kind of pioneered this idea of a novelized, I mean, certainly in modern literature, a novelized expose where you're essentially reading a novel, but the whole with like conversations that he was able to report. Like he found out what people said either by notes or recordings or stuff. So that he actually uses the actual words that people said, but it writes it like a novel. There's another good one about Enron that is also novelized. Really, really good. But the one, especially right now with the monkeypox going on, it's got... This is not that much different. I mean, there are obvious differences in that, like Ronald Reagan didn't say AIDS for most of his presidency until millions were dead from it. Obviously, we have a president that will say monkeypox, but there's a lot of stuff that it's not the same, but monkeypox could definitely dance to the music of the AIDS crisis. And if you want to read, you will read it so fast. Because it is absolutely gripping. You will read it so fucking fast. Recommend it. Highly recommend. There's a few books in the world that I would say that this is mandatory reading as a human being. This is mandatory reading as a human being.
Yeah, Acirith has the Amazon link.
Yep. Incidentally, Randy Schultz died of AIDS. And on top of that, I only found out later that the only thing to keep in mind is that the whole premise of how AIDS started, patient zero wasn't actually patient zero. It was not. There's a also really, really good expose about how Randy Shields fucked that up and destroyed the memory of a man who died from AIDS. So yeah, it's also a movie. Yes, the movie is very, very good, but the movie doesn't go through everything. That book it's the equivalent of like, it's like reading Game of Thrones as opposed to watching Game of Thrones. So much more. So yeah, rant off.
Okay.
But yeah, Halo Infinite still struggling with gas. Yes, I would read Jason Schreier's novelized expose of what really happened as it went down.
Yeah.
About
how does something like that go so wrong?
Yeah. Anthem, I think it was kind of covered by the Kotaku article. Anthem, we kind of, like, I don't see that there was anything more there, even though I think Anthem was a far bigger failure.
Yeah, it was just bad management. Like, at the end of the day, it's management that didn't really know what they wanted.
Right. That's not what happened. I get the feeling that what happened with Cyberpunk was way more complicated, way more nuanced, and had a lot to do with personalities of people that were running the show, as opposed to just bad management.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to do another one since I took two?
Yeah. Speaking of bad management and whoopsies, so a promo image for Assassin's Creed Mirage leaked, and the next day, as Ubisoft announced, "Hey, we're coming out with a new Assassin's Creed game called Assassin's Creed Mirage."
Yes. Let me see. Where is it?
And they did not say anything more other than that. All they did was announce the name. But Jason Schreier, speak of the devil, in Bloomberg way back at the beginning of the year, had written about what the next Assassin's Creed game would be, that it would be a return to form, so that it would be in the Middle East. It would have a different style of combat than what Valhalla and Origins and Odyssey had. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
More stealth. It was very much stealth based as opposed to Ivor.
As opposed to,
Ivor was not really. I mean, Ivor did stealth, but that wasn't like her bread and butter.
He ran in. Whoever you were, they ran in with a fucking axe and a shield and just hacked things.
Yeah. So yeah, Jason Schreier's description also included that this new game, which we now know, and it was code named Rift, we now know to be Assassin's Creed Mirage, was originally supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla. It was called the 40 Thieves Quest. And it was later that they realized they wanted to actually make, rather than make it the DLC, that they would make it the full next episode of Assassin's Creed. And it's going to follow Bassem Ibn el-Shak, who is the one of the guys in Valhalla, one of the assisting characters, supporting characters that assists Ivor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Remember there's the two guys from the Middle East who show up to help Ivor and explain who the Templars are, explain who the assassins are. Huh?
I never played Valhalla.
What? Why?
I just never got around to it.
Oh. Okay. Well,
I got it for Christmas. I have it.
You are Mr. Assassin's Creed. I don't understand this.
Assassins, look, I used to be Mr. Assassin's Creed. Those games took a turn into the weird, and like weird that I think is weird. I like weird, but I liked weird when it was politically charged weird. Now this is just like full on bug nuts. Hey, we're Greek gods. You're Loki or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that spoilers for Valhalla? That you're Loki and you're fighting Odin? You're Greek gods, basically.
Yeah, I don't think that's really spoiling
I think
anything.
at some point there's like a secret reincarnation of Greek gods, and that's who you're
Yeah,
playing, or
that's
something along
actually
that.
when I stopped playing it. It was when it went off into like you're in Valhalla. You go to Valhalla in this like phantom world. Yeah, that's when it started to get really weird. But yes.
Not
So
Greek gods,
he
Norse
is
gods.
one of Norse gods. Yeah, he is one of the characters that does show up and assists Ivor and explains who the Templars are, explains who the assassins are, and that's how you kind of get into the actual meat of the game.
That's cool.
But this is an interesting. Basim ibn Ishaq is Ibn Ishaq in English, which means son of Isaac.
Who is Isaac?
Isn't Isaac one of the like? Isn't that the first character?
No, that's Altair.
No, the one in actual
In the
world that you're
real
going
world.
into, the real world one. I think it was Isaac.
It wasn't Isaac. Desmond. It was Desmond.
That's right. It was Desmond. Okay. Anyway, you're going to be following him, and it's more of his backstory. The game's going to reportedly feature also a more condensed world, and like I said, it's going to focus more on
Good.
stealth.
That sounds
Now, this is what Schreier said.
nice. I like the idea of a smaller world.
Yeah. So we knew that this game was happening. Ubisoft probably was planning on the big reveal next week on the 10th. They're having the Ubisoft Forward, so that's probably where they were going to be making the big reveal. But somebody leaked that. Still, in fact, let me pull it up. Let me see. I will pull it if you haven't seen it.
And it's worth noting that this is not Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is the live service Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft is still working on.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to pull up. If you want to pull that up, let's see. Crap. Anyway, if you want to pull it up, or if somebody can get me the link of the actual leak of the actual, the actual leak image off of Twitter. Thank you very much. There it is. So that's how it was supposed to be when it was part of Valhalla. And then this, of course, was now what it is. And, we're seeing curved knives, obviously Middle East. So, yeah. And some think that it got leaked because Ubisoft accidentally did its own leak through the artwork of through the Ubisoft store. But Jason Schreier apparently had an exchange with somebody that said, no, this was a third party. So here it was 10 days before the big reveal that they were going to reveal on at the Ubisoft Forward. And then, of course, it gets leaked. And they were kind of in the position of like, okay, do we admit it or do we not admit it? Because, it's kind of hard to not admit at this point. So instead, Ubisoft went to their own Twitter. And this I can pull up because I have the link. And they did their own Twitter. And then, of course, they revealed that Assassin's Creed Mirage is the next Assassin's Creed game. We can't wait to tell you more. September 10th. So this is actually, they were smart. They revealed that this is going to make people want to watch Ubisoft Forward more so. Yeah. They may have to reveal a little bit more than they're supposed to. According to Jason Schreier, this game is due in spring of 2023. We will find out on the 10th if that's the case. So you want to watch it at noon?
Yeah, that's this upcoming Saturday.
Wait, 9 p.m. CEST. Yeah, that's something else. I was thinking it's not Central Time. So noon Pacific Time here. Want to watch it together on Saturday?
Maybe. That's a Saturday. I'll see what else I have going on. I might be doing something else.
Okay. Because it's probably only going to be an hour anyway. So we can do a 1 hour show. And stream it and react together as we love to do. So yeah, that is very much a thing. And your thoughts about any of that? I mean, you stopped playing Assassin's Creed because they were straying from form. This is now, according to reports, a return to form.
Yeah, it depends. Like, I'll have to see what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think one of the best Assassin's Creed games is the one everyone else hates. So I don't know if they want to appeal to me.
Which was what?
Unity.
Oh, really?
The
I
one
really
set
love
in
Black Flag.
France.
I really loved Black Flag.
Black Flag is my top.
Oh, really?
Unity, I think, is second, but it's the one most people say is awful, and I thought it was one of the best, both narratively and gameplay-wise.
I never played Unity. I don't know why. So Mirage isn't the only Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft is working on right now. Reportedly, they're also working on gird your loins. You ready? They're working on a live service project codenamed Infinity.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that we will be hearing it. Well, we definitely know we're going to be hearing about Mirage. I'm
I don't
hoping
think
we
we'll hear
hear
anything
about
Mirage.
at least something about Infinity.
I doubt it.
Possible. They might.
Possible. It's also possible that pigs could fly.
Do you think we're going to hear about Beyond Good and Evil 2?
No,
I think if we're ever going to hear about Beyond, that's true. I agree. But if we're ever going to hear about Beyond Good and Evil 2, this is the year we're going to hear about it. If they're really, really, really making it, because they got rid of Jackass who didn't want to make it.
There's nothing. It doesn't exist.
I'm going to hope every year. Every year, I'm going to hope.
No, never going to mention it again.
All right, fine. So, let's see, that was yours. Okay, now my next item is, we got comments. Hold on a second. AC Race says, I haven't played Valhalla, nothing to do with aliens then or tying the aliens in as gods.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I played it.
I think that's kind of the gist.
I can't remember if it was specifically alien flavor.
I don't think it's aliens, it's ancient civilizations.
I know that it ties into the fact that Ivor was the first. Ivor made it to North America. I never got to that point, but that was where they were heading towards. Is that Ivar was, I don't know if you know this, but there were never, for most of humanity, they never thought that Vikings made it to North America. It was 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 10, that they discovered evidence that Vikings had indeed made it to Nova Scotia. So that there was Vikings in North America, and that's an actual fact. And the game kind of plays into that suggests that Ivor was the person that was actually there. So, AC Ray says, I didn't hate Unity. Beyond Good and Evil had the type of cliffhanger ending that belonged in a sequel to advertise the third game.
I mean, look, by this point, you can't make a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil because it has all this hype and expectation around it. It has
no hype. It has no expectation. It has zero of any of those things. I am me and about 500 other people care that Beyond Good and Evil is coming out. We're the only ones who bring it up every year. You're going to have Beyond Good and Evil. We're the only ones. There is no hype. Really? Hype? All the hype about Beyond Good and Evil compared to Assassin's fucking Creed?
By hype, I mean expectations, right? It's been
so long. We have no
long.
expectations. We barely expect them to publish it.
I mean, that's probably the problem.
We expect them to keep lying to us is what we do.
Also, that game, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was just a good game.
And it could be so much better now. Oh my God, the characters and everything. You're talking about the game. I'm talking about the characters.
Yes.
I'm talking about the protagonist. I'm talking about the whole world itself. It was
good.
ripe for redo.
It was good.
Not redo, but update. A new game with like modern technology. And then, of course, they released those fucking trailers. They
that was a bad idea.
Wreck us.
I feel
because it
like
shows how much potential is there.
If it wasn't for the cliffhanger ending in that game, no one would have expected it to get a sequel, and no one would be clamoring for a sequel. Because
that's like saying if it wasn't for the cliffhanger that Firefly left us on, nobody would care about finishing up the season of Firefly.
See, I don't think Firefly actually left on cliffhanger. I think the last episode of Firefly actually serves as a pretty good series finale.
It wasn't a series finale.
No, but considering that it got canceled, it works as one pretty good. Yes, there are outstanding mysteries, but it wraps up the character drama in the way that feels like a good, okay ending.
Yeah. Think of how they could make the stealth sections actually fun. Yeah.
See, that's a game.
And you are welcome, N. D. Nicola at GameHounds.net to send your hate mail over what Nick just said.
Serenity, it would have been better if it kept going, but that last episode, wrapped up the character arc. Mal and the crazy psychic girl, realized, hey, we can be friends. We like each other. We'll help each other. And
then the assassin is outside. Literally, the assassin is outside.
No, they deal with the assassin.
No, they didn't. The assassin is outside on the ship. I remember the assassin is outside on the ship with his gravity boots. Not dead.
I think they deal with him.
No, they never do. River seems more present and part of the crew by the end of the season. Yes, she does. But she is also under threat. And that was what they were setting up, is that the crew was going to have to... Anyway, not going to argue with you. You're wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. And I'm just not going to argue that, because there's not enough hours in the day. So,
Serenity was a good movie.
Yes, Serenity was a good movie. Next item. Oh, let's see. Did you bring up? Yes, you brought up Assassin's Creed. So I will do the next one. Okay, more reasons for you to hate Diablo Immortal. Diablo Immortal. So news came out this week that Blizzard has taken action against people that were buying black market orbs. If you recall, orbs, what do they call this? What do they call crystalline orbs? Something. Eternal orbs. Eternal orbs are one of the currencies in the game that you need to progress your character. And you can only get those by purchasing them through their store. There were third-party sellers who were selling them at a significant discount. For example, 7,200 orbs is from Blizzard costs $89, $90. These third-party resellers were selling that same amount for as little as $9 or $10. So a lot of people, especially people who are really, 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 really into the game, they were buying them offline from these retailers. And then, of course, used them and bought things with them and did things with them and everything. Leveled up the characters and everything. Blizzard it's now going into the Season 4 update, and as a part of the update, Blizzard went through to find people who had apparently bought significant amounts of these black market orbs, and rather than demote their characters back to a certain level, what they did is that they created an orb debt. So instead of having so many orbs, they had negative orbs. And
it's all the orbs they paid for
that got removed from their account, and if it gets to 0, they kept removing.
Huh.
So for example, here is, I'm pulling up, and this was out on a YouTube video of one of those people who got an interview with a come on, where are you? Here we go. YouTuber. And the name of the YouTuber is what was it? Jay is All Business, I think it is. And Jay is All Business, and you can find him on YouTube. He did an interview with him and with one of the guys that had this happen to them. And I don't know if I can expand this out so you can see it, but this is the screenshot, and you will see up in the upper right-hand corner, it says minus 2,491,025. Now remember, these orbs cost money. If you have a negative balance of your orbs, you cannot do hardly anything in the game. You can't party up. Let's see, where is it? What is it saying? You can't party up. Let's see, what else? They're unable to join parties. They're unable to do group activities until they regain a positive balance. The only way that they can regain, this guy, for example, can regain a positive balance is to go to Ubisoft and buy 2,491,025 orbs, or about $35,000. So they are essentially taking their, as if Diablo Immortal didn't need more horrible things to happen to their end game community beyond the fact that this game is hilariously expensive for end game. I mean, to the tune of like several $100,000 to get to a fully tricked out character. They have done, for people that try to skirt their insane prices for their end game characters, they've essentially put them in such negative debt that they either pay them tens of thousands of dollars or abandon the characters altogether. Even if they paid, this guy probably already had spent tens of thousands of dollars to get to where he was, and then went over and got another couple million orbs from a third-party retailer when those became available. So all of the money that he might have spent, legitimate money he might have spent on this character, is gone.
Like, I'm all for punishing cheaters, especially in like a multiplayer game, but like, this is people trying to find a way around a broken economy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, that's exactly the right way to put it. It is an absolutely broken economy, and you're penalizing people who are trying to figure out a way to make the game affordable for themselves.
Yeah. And also, like, those are the end game players. I can't imagine. Well, maybe it's just my bias. I can't imagine there's a lot of end game players for Diablo Immortal, but then that game has a lot of players.
The game has a lot of players, but I mean, the only way for many of these people to get to this end game is to spend money. It's just such a fucking elitist thing to do. So yeah, it kind of sucks. And you know, once again, Blizzard being horrible people. Yeah, there's the GameHounds banned. Why third-party orb buyers are screwed in Diablo Immortal. It's not just banned. Oh, you can go into your character, but you got to pay the IRS.
Yeah, it's not banned. You can still play. You just have to play our way.
Right. And there's the link to Jay is All Business. Really interesting interview from this guy about why he did what he did, when he did what he did, and how much, you know, essentially talking to one of these people that got stuck in this, in his case, $35,000 debt to Blizzard. It's a good question.
Yeah, like, what do you do after that?
If Blizzard has created this debt, I wonder if they could go farther. I wonder if they could actually take them to court.
I know, because I I imagine, if Blizzard could take them to court.
Because debts, you can take to court. Take them to court, you can get a lien. Get a lien, you can put a lien on their house or whatever else they own. Lien on their car or whatever.
I don't know. They might.
I would not put it. Don't say they wouldn't do that. That is not the answer, because if Blizzard can, it will. I would never say that about any other situation, but this is Blizzard. I put nothing too low for them to do. Too offensive. They clearly do not give a fuck about being offensive or what the community thinks.
Yeah, if you bought third party, they could go after you for like breach of contract in a way that made them lose money.
Right.
But then
they know the exact amount of money because it's a $30,000 debt.
Yeah, the question is, would they seek monetary damage to get compensated or just remove all those old...
It's not seeking monetary damage to be compensated. It is registering. It's a different process of registering the debt and then going through and having the debt legally made a legal thing. At that point, you can go and garnish wages. You can get liens on houses.
I don't think they do that. No.
You don't think they do that.
No.
If they can, if they could, they would.
Even then, I feel like maybe not.
We'll see. I'll see. Mm-hmm. So anyway, next item.
Well, FIFA 23 is scheduled to come out on September 30th. If you pre-ordered the game, then you'll get it September 27th. That's one of the perks of pre-ordering. But it seems like a large number of people who pre-ordered got access to the game already.
Oops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. According to Eurogamer, Ultimate Edition buyers were able to download the game in every team's roster. Way ahead of official launch.
This is not the first time that this has happened for pre-order. I recall there's been a couple of situations where that's occurred.
Yeah, so they've actually been using this opportunity to share FIFA Ultimate Team stats and new gear that the players will wear.
Are they just leaving? I mean, now that EA knows about it, are they just leaving it open for them, or did they shut off the access for them?
No, they shut off. Well, some people were live streaming on Twitch, but their channels were very quickly terminated. EA is also banning anyone caught playing it early. So they're definitely trying to crack down on it.
It's a live. I mean, it's not a live service, but if you're caught,
relatively live service.
Yeah, I mean,
there's still no easy idea about how it happened. It seems like most of the players
did it go available?
Most of the players have been running a beta test, and so the suspicion is that somehow the beta version of the game they had on their consoles got updated to give them access to all of the final game.
That's probably true.
So it wasn't that the final game got released. It's this update that got pushed through when it shouldn't have.
Somebody forgot it was an X. It was supposed to be a 1 and it was a 0.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, good for them. But yeah, if you were lucky enough to do that, do not stream it and do not play it. Just put it away and just don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's evil. All right, so my next item is let's see, what have I got? What have I got?
Oh yeah, and in the chat, Gamer Emerald asked if we had talked about the class action lawsuit against Sony in the UK. And yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh yeah, we talked a lot about it last week.
Mm-hmm.
With the ultimate thought that I thought it was a publicity stunt. I do. I think it's a publicity stunt. Let's see. What is my next one? Oh, speaking of things that are leaked, but this is a legal leak. Microsoft Oh no, that's something else. Where is it?
Is a legal leak even a leak?
It's not really. I mean, I guess it's not, but it's. Oh, I hate it when you put in your own stuff. I can't find my own stuff. Oh my god, this is so annoying. You find it for me, Nick.
What are you looking for?
I am looking for all the details about the Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family. More details of coming out. Thank you. It has been outlined by. I mean, we knew about some of the stuff that last week about how this Friends and Family Pass will allow people to. You don't actually have to be family, it's friends. In fact, you don't even have to be living in the same house. It's up to 4 people as long as you're living in the same country or region. So it turns out it's actually what that means that there's going to be 5 accounts, you and 4 friends or family, and you can actually access the Game Pass library of games on the console, PC, or cloud together. More details are coming out because this is being tested in Colombia and Ireland. Yeah, Colombia and Ireland. The service right now is 49,900 Colombian pesos, which is about $11 US. Or in Ireland, it's $21.99, which is about $21.99 in 21.99 euros, which is 21.99 there or abouts in US dollars per month. So there's a great price disparity between South America and Europe.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what the price is, but everyone's kind of speculating that is the lowest price and the highest price that you're going to see. And it's going to vary from city to city, region to region, which makes very much sense, because with a friends and family, you have to limit it to people in your own country. Because if I have a friend who lives in Colombia, I could do his friends and family, and he only has to pay $11, and I could get access to his. I could send him $11, make me a friend, and then I have access to all of your stuff, all of your games. So that's why it's limiting to your country. So there's going to be 2 kinds of members. Obviously, the account holder, who is responsible for the payments, and then the account holder is the only member to be able to add or remove users to the group. And to become this primary account holder, you have to join the friends and family through the digital Microsoft Store. After joining, then you can manage the group members on your services and subscriptions page. As a primary account holder, you can invite up to 4 people, so 4 additional friends or family, and 4 people at a time, a maximum of 8 people per year. So you can have, it limits you. You can't just keep changing your 4 people over and over and over again. It's
okay.
You get essentially one full rollover of everybody. So
I feel like
8 people per year.
I've seen that limitation on something, but I get it. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You can only be a member of one group at a time, and your group members can only join a group up to 2 times per year. So you can't daisy chain through all 4 people, just rotate through all 4 people being the account pass holder. This includes leaving and rejoining the same group. So you only get to switch twice. Once you're in, you're in. If you want to leave, you can go to one other group. And after that, you have to wait a year before you can use a friends or family, be on any friends and family account.
So if you anger the host, they can kick you off, bring you back, and then be like, hey.
That's right.
You can't go anywhere else.
That's right.
I kick you out again. You can't come back.
You can't come back on anyone's pass for 365 days. You're only going to be able to share your membership with people who live in your country or region, like I said, which makes sense because obviously there are going to be very, very wide disparities on the cost of this subscription pass based on where you live. And after you join Game Pass Friends and Family as a primary account holder, the time remaining on your previous plans will automatically convert to the Friends and Family, not month to month, but price to price, dollar spent to dollar value remaining. So, for example, if you have 30 days left on your Game Pass Ultimate subscription, if you convert it over to Friends and Family, that will convert over to 18 days of the Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family service. If you have just the standard Game Pass subscription, 30 days of that will convert to 12 days of the Game Pass Friends and Family. And I think that didn't they do that with when they introduced Game Pass? When they went from games to gold, like you didn't get month to month. Like I think early on you got month to month, but then eventually it changed over to value to value or dollar spent to dollar.
No, they did that with the PlayStation.
That's right. PlayStation's doing that, and I criticized PlayStation for that. Thought that was kind of a cheap ass thing to do, and I still think it's a kind of a cheap ass thing to do. For this, I mean, it doesn't cost them anymore. It's the only people that are going to benefit most are the ones that have huge balances on their Game Pass already, which means they're already Game Pass fans. They've already spent a ton of money, so
they got to get more money.
Right?
If they can, they will.
It's a chintzy way to do it, and I think that's that kind of sucks because I was really criticizing Sony for that, and now Xbox is doing it too, and I think that that's bad practice. It's just not very pro-consumer. It's gouging because it doesn't cost them any more to give you 30 days for 30 days than it is for 30 days for 12 days. It doesn't cost them a damn cent. And how many games are you going to play in 12 days? How many games are your friends going to play in 12 days? How much value is actually lost? Very little. So, but yeah, those are the details. Far more details than we had last week when we found out, or it's 2 weeks ago. Now that they've had a lot more people in Ireland and Colombia that have been playing it, we now know a lot more about it.
I like AC Wraith. It'll change family dynamics.
Ha! Disown me, Mom. My friend's family has a better library. True? Could be that. Yeah, people with big libraries could actually auction them off on.
I mean, no, in theory, it's all the same library. It's all Game Pass.
It's all Game Pass, but it's also your cloud gaming. Like everything, it's everything. Let me see what it says. Game Pass Friends and Family, 5 accounts benefit from Game Pass Ultimates, allowing you, family, and friends to play the Game Pass library of games on console, PC, and cloud together. Okay, so it is just Game Pass. So it's all the same. So yeah, that's my item. Next.
I didn't have any more, but I know you had one that I did not. That surprised me. I feel like I would have heard it.
2 more. We talked about that. We talked about Elden Ring. Okay, I only have 2 more. The one that Nick does not care about is Crusader Kings. There's going to be a new. Last week we talked about how Crusader Paradox had said that they were starting September 15th. They were going to double the price of existing flavor packs. Well. And all future flavor packs. This week, they announced the Crusader Kings is getting a new flavor pack.
Is it coming out before the price bump?
Yes.
Oh, so you better jump on it.
So here's the question, and that is a question of whether it's going to be cheaper before the bump, or it's just going to come in at the bump price early on. And I don't know that. I went and looked on Steam. There was no price listed, so we don't know the price of it yet. But yeah, this is going to be called Friends and Foes. It's going to add a lot of drama, which I'm so fucking looking forward to, because that's my favorite part of Crusader Kings is when personal fucking dramas happen. So it's going to add 100 new experiences to the already existing game pack. It's going to, according to the press release, is that that your decisions with your relationships are going to matter more as those of closest to you come alive in the most intimate detail. So there's going to be a whole lot more family and friend and enemy drama that's going on. From rival noble houses holding lifelong grudges to childhood bullies, summer crushes, and spoiling spouses with lavish gifts, your ruler's everyday existence has never been more fraught and more exciting. And I am all for this. All for this. I am 100% down.
So what is it actually adding? Is it adding?
It's adding 100 new experiences that have to do with family drama, and it's going to change the way that things. Because like when you grow up as a child, you have a bully, and if the bully
experiences are like the little pop-ups that happen,
the little pop-ups.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's unhappy with you. Somebody hates you. Somebody's trying to murder you. Somebody's trying to become your lover. Somebody is your best friend. Your best friend wants something from you. Those kind of things. Like interpersonal relationships become way more big, according to Paradox, about this pack. This pack is everything to me right now.
Now that I know what an experience is, that seems way cooler.
So it's also going to include new music when it launches. It's going to launch on September 8th. And yeah, remember that September 15th is the day that these packs are all going to, the existing ones are going to double in price to, I think they're $6.99 now. They're going to go up to $12.99. So it's still really affordable, but there's no indication, and they had already said that it was going to be existing packs, the price was going to double. Future packs, the price would be double. So I'm assuming this falls under the future packs price will be double condition. So Steam hasn't, like I said, Steam doesn't have a price for it. We won't find out, but it's coming out September 8th, which is in 4 days, and I am setting my clock the minute that comes out, because I'm all about it, and I will be playing it immediately on stream on Twitch, and we will be. It's going to be the housewives of Poland, the housewives of Warsaw.
I like that idea. I approve of that.
And I think you and I should absolutely play it now, because I think we would be great housewives.
But what if I don't have that that expansion?
I will get that expansion for you. I think if you play on mine, you will have that expansion. When you play on my game. I will look into that. And the other thing is, and thank you very much for the link. Oh, the Friends and Family link. Thank you. Ending spoiler. Oh. Ending spoiler for Don't Touch It. It's evil.
Evil?
Yeah, Time Bandits. We've already had this conversation. It's the final scene of Time Bandits, circa 1981. I want to say. Let's see. The last item I had that Nick didn't have that he found very interesting is word has come down that Quantic Dream has been sold. NetEase, which is the developer and publisher behind Naraka, Blade Point, and Diablo Immortal. They're using their Diablo Immortal money, and they bought Quantic Dreams, the developer of Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, and of course, Nick's favorite, my least favorite game of all time, Heavy Rain. So this is
all time, really?
Of all time. Least favorite game of all time. No question. If somebody said, if I'm asked at the pearly gates, what's the one game you hate? It'd be like, Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain.
You got to play 12 minutes. I think we might have a top contender.
Probably not. I really hated Heavy Rain. Really hated Heavy Rain. Anyway. So yeah,
That's interesting.
it
I didn't
is.
even know they were up for sale.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did except NetEase. So NetEase, this is their first European company that it has purchased. NetEase has been plucking up studios left and right, but not in Europe. They, according to reports, according from Quantic Dream, according to their own words, they said that they're going to. NetEase said they're going to continue to operate independently. All of the studios that they're buying up, they're operating independently. We're letting them do what they do best, and we're not sticking our fingers in, much like Tencent does. So in the official press release announcing the acquisition, Quantic Dream founder David Cage wrote, NetEase Games values our creative freedom and the drive and passion for our uniquely diverse team. We will now be able to accelerate the vision we share as a group of creating landmark titles that touch people on an emotional level. We have highly differentiated games in the making, and I truly believe that this is the best to come from Quantic Dream. So apparently they're working on something.
I mean, we know they announced the underwater game at Gamescom.
Yeah.
We know they're working on a Star Wars game.
Yep.
And I saw something that they're working on a comedy game.
Really?
I mean, come on. They make gut busters. Maybe unintentional gut busters. But
yeah, Heavy Rain was one of those. I found
Jason
it hilarious
is
how
a
awful.
classic.
It is a classic. So yeah, Quantic Dream is sold, and now is. Do we know anything about NetEase? Is this gonna be like the next Embracer Group?
no, they make a lot of Chinese mobile games. That's what I know of NetEase. It's just Chinese mobile games is what I think of them. I think of gacha games.
Very big departure then, unless Quantic Dream. God, can you imagine the Heavy Rain gacha game? Oh God.
Pull the slot machine. Are you going to get Jason? No, you got any of the other characters whose names I don't remember.
AC Ray says, I still like what I've seen of Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls was okay. Like,
which one was that? I can't remember that one.
With the now Elliot Page.
Oh, right. Yes. Got it.
Psychic girl joining military, romance mishaps, and then something about saving the world. Did that ever happen? I don't remember.
Something saving the world. That narrows it down.
It was decent.
To just about every game.
It was not as good as Heavy Rain. I'll say that.
Oh God. Oh, I hate it. Oh my God. You truly don't understand how much I hate that game.
So okay, I will say a lot of my love for Heavy Rain. I was
furious at that game.
A lot of my love for Heavy Rain boils down to the few moments when I was the father going through some Saw-like puzzle, and you had to like hold L1 to try to, get through a corner, then hold L2, then R1, then R2, then square, then triangle, then this, and like you had to control your hands to hit all the buttons while he was trying to like get through some electrified fence. And I thought that was such a really cool system of like try to contort the way he does, and like it was such a neat
It was
thing.
fine, but that's not enough to save the rest of that game.
I mean, I liked the tone of it. I liked the atmosphere. I'm a sucker for like the dark serial killer. It's no 7, but it wants to be. It tries, and I dig that tone and that style. It doesn't come together. Like, I will fully admit it doesn't come together. And there are some red herrings that are straight up bullshit.
AC Ray says, remember the baby's name for the best ending because the romance options suck.
I don't remember the baby's name.
It's not Jason. He liked the name so much he named the second kid Jason too.
Yeah, that's the only name he knows. Didn't Jason
Fucking
die?
Jason.
Isn't that the point?
Oh, what?
Didn't Jason die?
Yeah, I think it is.
Isn't that the inciting incident to the whole thing?
Does he get hit by a car? I think it is.
Something
I
like
remember
that.
a balloon.
Oh yeah, there was something with a balloon. Oh, we gotta play this game again.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that this week. If you've got some time on Wednesday or Thursday, let's play this game again.
Okay. First Forgotten City.
Yeah, first Forgotten City, which is tonight. What time?
Which is significantly better.
Which is what time?
Let's say 7 or 8. Like, I still need time to eat dinner. We need to pick some fantasy football teams.
Okay, 7:30 it is then.
Well, okay. We don't need a fantasy football. We need to pick teams for a survival pool. We entered 2 different things. One's a fantasy football. The other's a weekly survival pool.
Oh, Survivor? You mean a television game? A television show?
No, the survival where you have to pick a team that wins each week, and if your team loses, you're out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's fine. Have a great time. I'll see you at 7:30 on Twitch tonight.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody listening, Twitch tonight, 7:30. Loved it. 7:30 Pacific, which would be 10:30 Eastern. I don't anticipate this being a very long stream because I'm already pretty well. Really?
It goes places. There's a lot of talking. You're going to want to exhaust as many dialogue trees as you can because you're going to want to know, like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on?
Okay. All right.
There's going to be a lot of talking. Very dialogue heavy.
Okay.
And AC Wraith in the chat asked if there's any PAX West news. He had 2 indie list game videos, and I saw one of them in Discord. But other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot of news
Weren't you
coming out
watching
of
something
PAX
about
West.
stuff coming out of PAX West? I thought that's what you were watching before we got on.
Yes, that was in Discord. AC Wraith linked to a video that was kind of a summary of a whole bunch of indie mega booth games.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them looked pretty cool, I gotta say.
Yeah. Anything that stood out to you? Which is where we would be if we were at PAX this year. I think next year we're really going to have to go. Next year.
Yes.
Unless.
Year. He did a part 2 as well. That's neat.
All right. By the way, there's our Discord server. Feel free to go there and do that. We would love to have you there.
Oops.
Games from PAX West, beginning with Slave Zero
Wait,
X,
this is
share it.
Wait, that's not mine.
Universe with the mech shooter Slave
It's not me.
99.
Oh, it started. It opened another tab in Chrome, and that video was muted. So I'm like, where's the sound coming from? It was playing through Discord.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we will probably.
Yeah, like we could sit and watch this whole video, but it does like half hours of games, and it's just like, yeah, does this look interesting? Does this look interesting?
Yeah, I'm kind of sorry we didn't go this year simply because there's so few people that are going and that people are craving news. So it would have given us a distinct advantage. But at the same time, I'm really glad we're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the Omicron. I will be getting the Omicron vaccine very shortly. By this time next year, Nick will have the Omicron vaccine. There's so few people now getting it, although Christmas is going to be the real determinant because that's when people really fucking get sick, and a lot of people do. The more people that get sick, the more every time that someone does get sick, the greater the opportunity for it's just one more opportunity for the virus to mutate into an entirely different variant. Right now, it seems like Omicron is holding firm. I mean, it's been almost like, 8 or 9 months that it's been since we've had a new variant. So this is a good thing. And if we can get this vaccine out to enough people, and it does prevent Omicron, and there's no more variants coming, then next year should be good. We will be back to normal. by the time PAX West next year. So we'll be there. I got a lot of miles saved up on my Alaska account, so got to use them. I'll be flying first class for the first time up there.
Nice.
Yeah. Either that or I'm going to go to Hawaii. Not sure. Do you and Rachel want to go to Hawaii?
Yes.
I've got enough points to send 4 people to Hawaii.
Holy shit, you have a ton.
I have a ton. And I haven't flown at all, except for up to PAX. Here is how I did that. You wait until there is a promotion on the Alaska Airlines Visa card. You get the Alaska Airlines Visa card. You spend on the Alaska Airlines Visa card for fucking everything. And the minute you make the purchase, you go to Bank of America online, which was holder of the card, and you pay for it that moment. So every purchase that you make online, it's like an extra step of going to Bank of America and putting that same amount into the card. You never have a balance.
You can't just auto pay at the end of the month?
You could do that, but
okay.
I find it easier so that I don't even have to think about it at the end of the month. All I do is I just added an extra step. Any big purchase you buy it through their online shopping. They have a Alaska Airlines online shopping thing, so that and then buy it with the card. So you can get in some cases up to 3 or 4 points per dollar just from the purchase, and then you get dollar for dollar points on the card. And you start off with something like 75,000 points. So I have something like 190,000 points on my card. And I've taken one flight on Alaska. So it's a really, really good deal. And
you just been amassing points without spending it.
I've been amassing every I put my groceries on it. I put my dog food on it. I put everything on that fucking card. And I pay it off. It's the second that I make the purchase, I pay it off. And it auto deducts from my account, and I never carry a balance longer than a couple of days. So yeah, that's how you do it. And they fly to Hawaii. And I think it's like 40,000 points, 50,000 points to fly to Hawaii. And I got 180,000.
Okay, so lots.
Yes. All right. Anything else before we close out the show? Because technically we haven't closed out the show. And it is 4:30, and we should be turning off my computer so that we can save some energy. So, on that note, let's wait for it. Close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 651. We recorded this on Sunday, September 4th, 2022. I've been Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick Nicola. If you ever want to get a hold of us, it's very easy. You just go to, or send an email to, gamehounds@gmail.com, or you go to our website, which is still a little kind of fucked up and broken, but one of these days I'm going to fix it. Gamehounds.net is our website. The other way to get a hold of us, super easy. You join us for our live stream. We stream on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. On Facebook and YouTube, we are, YouTube and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, all one word, as in videos. GameHounds Vids, please join us there, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on any of those. We'd love to have you in the chat room. By the way, everyone in the chat room, thank you, and especially thank you to those who switched over to Twitch. We need every single one of you in there right now. Thanks also to AC Wraith, our link bitch. And if you mention anything, like literally anything that you didn't understand or you want to read more about, look in the comment section for this. You will find it because AC Wraith put a link to it. Also, if you listen to this as a podcast, we do record this for an actual podcast, that podcast is available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Spreaker's still there, but all major podcast outlets. Go there. That's where our podcast is. It is GameHounds Podcast. You will find it there. And thank you to all of our listeners who listen to us as a podcast. You guys are awesome. And don't forget to leave us some feedback so we know if we're doing good or bad, or if you want to add something to it. And join the Discord. That's the best way to get a hold of us, because Nick and I are on it all the time and respond to you anything you want. Almost anything you want. Have a great week, everyone. Please be safe. If you're in California or in a heat wave, try to keep yourself cool, drink lots of water, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stand by. Stopping stream. Stop. Save. GH651 raw. Saved. All done. You can talk, Nick. It's all right. We're off. I mean, we're still in the live stream. All right. So remember, for your Twitchies, so to speak.
Twitchies? That's right. I should close on Twitch. I had it open. Oh no, that's right. We're still going.
Yeah, we're still going.
Okay, so I'll keep it.
So
going.
all of you Twitchies out there, please feel free to join us tomorrow or tonight at 7:30 p.m. Pacific for Nick walking me through, or at least us playing together while he watches me play the trying to find out the secret of the city. It is going to be a spoiler cast for the Forgotten City, but if you don't want to play the game, this might be a really good way to do it, especially because I'm totally open to backseating on this one. Feel free to backseat this. Happy to do it. Because, I mean, we're playing it together. I'm playing it. Nick's playing it with me, even though I'm running it. And you all can be too. So talk to you tonight, everyone. Thank you. Bye.